Hey guys, in this video we're going to look at fitting a telescopic scope to an air rifle. I'm replacing my Hawk 4x6 zoom scope with a 50 ocular lens with an MTC F1 Cobra. If you want to see the review on the Cobra, check it out up there. Okay, so let's check it out. Okay, so here we go. A couple of things, a couple of tools that we're going to need. We're going to need some couple of Allen wrenches. These were supplied with my mounts. These are the mounts I'm putting on this one. These are sports mounts, and they are sports mount high to compensate for the 50mm objective lens. Okay. So here we go, let's put my glasses on because I need to see what I'm doing. I'll make it nice and clear. All right, so remembering this is a BSA gun and it's got 13mm rails on it, dovetails. I've already opened those up. I'm going to slide those on nice and loose for now. I'm just going to nip them up so they don't wobble about. But keep them loose enough so I can slide them up and down the rail. There we go. Just going to pull the top parts off and take each screw off. I'll speed it up for you, shall I? Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's really important, guys, that you get the correct height for your scope. If the objective lens is sitting too high, it's going to give you an incorrect barrel sight. So you want the objective lens as close as you can to the barrel, so when you're zeroing in your scope, you compensate for the pellet curve more accurately. Okay, there are loads of videos on YouTube that go into this. I'm not going to go into this in this one. I'm going to fit this really nice scope and we're going to shoot it and review it. Okay. So just sitting the scope onto the mounts. And I don't really like to, so many people do it different ways. This is how I do it. I center mine up within the actual center of the mounts. Okay, that's how I like to do it. Now, for now, I'm just going to nip up the retaining screws just to stop it moving about at this end while I put the top halves on to the mounts. I'm going to be wanting to slide this backwards and forwards in a little bit just for my eye ready so I can see through the scope properly, but for now I don't want it moving in. I only want it moving about sort of on its own because now I've got them mounted where I want them. Okay, so I'll start putting the first one on and I can speed it up. I might slow it down because there's something important that I'm going to have to say about putting these on as well. Really good thing. Use a tin, pellet tin. Put your screws in. God, I've lost so many in the past. Unbelievable. Okay. One in towards me on the right hand side, put one in away from me on the left hand side. An old mechanic friend of mine a long time ago taught me how to torque wrench down a cylinder head on a 2-litre Pinto Cortina engine, and you go opposites. And there's a set pattern that you do, and it's just so the cylinder head is torqued down evenly across the whole spread of the engine. This is how I've done my scopes since then, and we're going back to the mid-80s here, so it's a long time, right? And I've done it the same all the time. You get an even spread across the scope, and you don't want to be crushing this. So when you are tightening these down, just a pinch, enough so they don't come undone, but not too tight as a pinch and could squish the tube, the 30mm tube on this one, but not a tiny amount so the whole thing comes loose. All right, you'll see me do it when I put this one back on. So glasses back on because these are fiddly. So they're just on there. I pinched them up a little bit. That's not, yeah, it's still moving. Just want to pull them back in the center a little bit. Let's move it forwards. I need to just undo a couple, just a tiny bit. Okay. Put them where I want them. So it's all not tight, but I can move everything around where I want it. Now I'll need to set my eye relief now. Now I'll put the eye relief up in the corner. And what the eye relief is, it's from where your face sits on the stock here and you go to shoot, it's what you can see through the scope itself. Now, if you go a little too far that way, all you might see is just like a black blob with a tiny, tiny little piece of the scope reticle in there. And it can be the same for said for going too far the other way. And the only way that I do this really is I put my face down on there and I move it to where I want it to be. Once we've done that, we need to set to make sure that the scope is level with the scope, with the rifle itself. And when I do that, I've got a couple of little bubbles and I'll show you how to use those, and I'll put a link in the description as to where I got these cheap as chips. I've always done it this way. There are a couple of other ways of doing it though. Check it out on YouTube. I'll even put a link to a video here of somebody doing it the other way on another channel, and I highly recommend you subscribe to his channel as well as subscribing to my own, of course. All right. Okay. Just move it, everything out of the way. And it's not about seeing a target at this point. See, at the moment, it's all blurry and weird and not very nice. So, if I go too far forward, it's the same, all blurry and weird. Let's take these caps off. I don't like them anyway, to be fair. Okay, that's a bit better. Just needs to go a bit further away. There we go. That's where I want it. Okay, so I've got a nice clear view through, and it's a nice clear white circle. I can see the reticule nice and clearly. Alrighty. So on to the next bit. Now, you need to make sure that the scope doesn't cant left or right, okay? Because if it does that, as you know, if you're firing slightly canted one way or the other, depending on the distance, it can have an effect on where the target is hit. So for example, if it's over one side, say for example to the left, as in it would be going that way, and you're holding over, it could be too far over to your left, for example. All right, so it's important to get this bit right. Now, I've always done it this way, and a very old shooting friend of mine taught me this way, and this is how I've always done it, using the bubbles. As I've said, there are plenty of videos out there. I'll link up with a couple of videos that show you how to do it slightly different ways. But for me, this is how I do it. So, this doesn't work on every rifle, but I found on the R10 it works for me. And there are ways to make it work. You can get bubble mounts to fit on the mounts themselves. On Hawk mounts they do them, or Sportsmatch I think they do them as well. So there are ways around it. And the other bubble I'm going to place up there. Okay. Now I can see already that they're both off. So I'm just gonna. This is why I like, another reason why I like a tilting bipod. I've always had a tilting bipod anyway. I like to be able to move it about and make sure I've got the cant right and what have you, because I'm a bit of a dodgy shoulder and a bit misshapen, but. So there we go. We're looking through there now. The bubble. Oh, I moved it. Is in the centre. You can see on the top one, look. It's not in the centre, so the whole scope needs to come to me. And because I haven't tied it up fully. Ooh, you lucky so-and-so. Pretty much spot on straight away. Dead centre, would you look at that? Straight away. Now I need to tighten up, pinch up all of the, just double check that just to make sure. This is where I get hypercritical of what I'm doing. Not that I'm a perfectionist in any way. So that needs to come. That way. Both bubbles centered nicely. Okay, so let's tighten these ones up first. And it's just a pinch. You don't want to be over tightening stuff. You'd be surprised how many people over tighten these. Even actually when I took these out of the packet, God, I had to use the full length of the Allen key to open them up. Someone in the factory when they packed it was going, I really tightened them up. And again, using that old trick from my friend with the Cortina Pinto engine, with the top ones, help if I use the right one. Pinch one up, go across to the other side, and then go the opposite, pinch that one up the same, and then come back, pinch that one up, same tightness, and go back on the other side. Do the same, go to the next rail, pinch that up, not too tight to start with, just pinch and nip them up, nip up, come back, opposite side, nip up, go across, opposite side, nip up. And then just double check it. Now this is where you don't want to overdo it. Just make sure it's tight. Now, I'm just using 2 fingers, I'm not going super crazy. I don't want to crush the tube. Yep. Go back the other side. Yep. Go back the other side. Go on just a touch. Come over to the next rail. And just a touch. Go over the other side. Yep. Yep. Awesome. There you go. Take that bubble away. That's it fitted. I think you agree. That looks rather nice, doesn't it? Let's go outside and get it zeroed. Hey everyone, so we're outside. I'm going to do the zeroing bit of the tutorial here. Just a couple of things. If your scope has a parallax wheel, set it all the way back to as far as it goes. This one goes all the way back to 10 yards because when you're zeroing, it's better to start off short because if the scope is way out, it could go anywhere. If you start shooting at 30 meters or whatever it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot at a target 10 meters, zero into that, and then I'm going to go to my longer range that's in my garden, which is about 21 meters. And I'll zero then fine tune it into that range as well. Okay, we're all ready to go. Scope's all in, I've looked through it, it all looks fine, and the rifle's ready to go. So let's take the first shot and see how we progress from there. Okay, it's a little bit low and to the left. Let's take another one. Just make sure that wasn't a flyer. I think that was the same. Oh, let's try a third. There we go. Okay, so we need to come up a bit and to the right a bit. So let's go up a bit. So let's go to the elevation turret. On some scopes you have caps to take off. On this one, just pull the whole thing up and then turn. Pull the whole thing up and then turn. Okay, so I want to go up a bit. So I'm going to go, I'm really close range. I'm just going to go 5 clicks at a time. I'm going to be cautious and see what we can do. push the turret back down. Never used pop turrets before, so I was intrigued to know how they work. It's all locked back in. And we need to go slightly to the right. So we pull the windage one out. And we want to go to the right, so we go 5 to the right. Now let's see how we do. Just make sure. Gonna go up a couple of clicks more. Three clicks. Knock it back down. Let's go 10 clicks to the right. Okay, so a little bit low, a little bit too far to the right, so I'm going to go a couple of clicks more back to the left. Still need to go up just a touch. So I've gone 5 clicks up. It's probably too far high. Let's see. Down a bit, so let's come down, say 3 clicks. Turrets are going up and down a lot easier now, just a bit of use. Nice and firm too, like the way they work, lock into place as well. Very nice. Straight in the middle. Same hole. Same hole. Alv juice. Okay. Just dry fire that. Alrighty, so that's the 10 meter sorted. It's now all zeroed in. Really nice groupings at 10. Let's move to 21. Okay, here we go. Regular spot, 20 meters. Okay. So, because this is a first focal plane scope, I'm going to be able to zoom right in, and it's not going to change my aim points or zero at all. I'll get into another video about that at some point, but there are lots of good videos out there explaining the difference between first focal plane and second focal plane. For now, let's zero into 20 meters. Just to recap, guys, when you zero in, every click moves the crosshairs either up or down. With the windage, it moves it either right or left. And on this scope, one click equals 1 centimeter and 100 yards. Okay, let's get to 20 meters in and see what we got. Would help if I flip those up. And adjust the parallax. So I can see what I'm shooting at. Okay. It's already loaded. Just saw a red kite go overhead, then it just caught my eye. Okay, so first one went too high. That's telling me now I need to drop the elevation turret down. So it's only 21 meters. I'm going to go 10 clicks and see what it does. So 10 clicks down. Can always come back up a little bit, but the windage, as you can see, he's almost spot on. So it's come 10 clicks down. Let's make it 5 clicks down. Guys, just one thing before I carry on. I was talking earlier on about the mounts and having high and what have you, and I've got sports match high ones and they're high to keep the objective lens off the barrel. You can see what I mean here. I tip it up a bit, you can see there's about 1/4 centimeter gap between the top of the barrel and the lens of the outside of the scope. So if I had super high ones, it'd be really, really high, and I would have to compensate for that when adjusting. And if I got the incorrect ones, I got normal ones or short ones, I wouldn't be able to mount the scope properly at all, because the objective part of the scope would be touching the barrel there. So it's really important when you do select your mounts, make sure you get mounts to suit the size of the scope, the objective lens. If in doubt, ask somebody who knows, local gun shop or whatever, or if you belong to a forum, ask on there. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help. Okay, so I've come down 5 clicks. Let's see what difference that makes. I must say though, before I fire this one off, really, really nice eye relief. When you set it up right, it gives you a really good view down the scope. Straight down the centre. Same hole. Same hole. Oh, pulled that one. That was me. Another little tip here. When I shoot, I actually take a deep breath in and then I breathe out and then squeeze the trigger gently. The reason why I'm pulling it is I'm waiting too long to take the shot. And I'm starting to wobble a bit. So just remember that. As you breathe out, when you're sure of the shot, take the shot. A bit low. Same hole. Same hole. Same again. Okay. So I'm fairly happy with that. That's shooting in easily 5 pence within a 5 pence piece there, diameter at 21 meters. That's this scope zeroed in for this rifle at this distance. I was going to say as well, wasn't I? Put a little clip up earlier on. Another way that you can get the crosshairs centered so they're straight with the barrel of your rifle. And I used, when I was setting it up, I was using little bubbles, which I got off of Amazon. Another way you can do it, you imagine, get yourself a piece of string and get yourself something heavy, something substantial, you know, apple kind of weight, right? Tie it to the bottom and then hook it up somewhere. So, I don't know, it's about person height. Either hook it to a fence so it dangles, hook it to a door frame so it dangles, anything like that. Because when it dangles, it will be a plumb line and it will always be vertical because gravity is pulling it down. So you can also then, as long as you've got, when you're pointing the gun and the scope at it, as long as you've got that nice and straight and not canted left or right, you'll be able to rotate the scope in line with that piece of string. And that also does the same thing as what I did with the bubbles. So there you go, guys, how to mount and how to zero in your scope correctly. This one I've got on my BSA R10. There is also a review of the scope and you can check that out as well. There's also a review of the Hawk scope. The Hawk scope has now gone on the Ultra CLX 160 edition, by the way, for those who wanted to know. So there you go. Please do like the video if you like what you see and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. There is more coming this summer. I'll see you all later. It's rather cold. I'm going to get a cup of tea. See ya. Bye-bye.